I think there we go.
It just says broadcast live.
I halfway clicked on it. That's why that wasn't working.
Oh, you're a halfwayer. I get it.
I am not. Okay, well, welcome to Penny for Your Thoughts. This is episode number 3, and we are talking about the media.
Oh, what fun it is.
Yeah, there's just so much to talk about, unfortunately.
Good and bad, good and bad.
And that's exactly what we're here for, to talk about the good and the bad. We talked about it a little bit in our the last time we chatted in the first podcast. So, and since it's something that, there's so many things that we can talk about, it just seemed a good idea to make that an actual subject, because there's so many smaller subjects to talk about media.
And one of the things, I see you're Miss Mia now, so everyone.
Yes.
She is Miss Mia. I'm old AlphaSuri. I'm the same. So there's nothing new about me.
Except that you're a returning guest on the podcast, which is very cool. We just couldn't live without you.
Nah, you do fine without me. I'll be sitting back on little cheerleader pom-poms.
Right? Doing a little dance.
A little wolf.
Yes. So what is the first thing that we should dissect in the media?
Well, since we're on YouTube,
we could definitely talk about YouTube. That's a good idea. Since we are using it right now. Yeah. Let's definitely talk about the bad first, so that way, in case anyone from the actual YouTube community doesn't see, the ones who say if it's appropriate or not appropriate, they don't see it until after we say the good stuff.
Oh yeah, whatever. Well, some of the bad things would have to be, I could nitpick at some of the bad things in my past year, because I've been on here for exactly a year now, and
congratulations.
Why, thank you. I would say one of the bad things, well, how would I say this in the nicest way?
Don't be nice. Be blunt.
Be blunt. But with any social media, I guess it has this portray of notifications and the recommendations YouTube sends out. Because for a whole year, I've noticed that with every update YouTube does, there's always a high possible chance that, I don't know if it's them in particularly, or the system update what cancels some people's subscriptions and sub counts. Now, that could be just like a nitpick thing, but for people who want to grow and want to have a community on YouTube, that's a pretty big factor in not knowing that you're not subscribed to your person, or not getting the videos and notifications that they uploaded that you've been waiting for. Can also decrease your thought process and being like, oh, maybe they're not making videos anymore. Really, what's going on? Have they taken a break? Are they just not doing it kind of routinely? It actually hurts your statistics a lot, seeing that from YouTube standpoint, it's, your viewer counts are low. People are not watching your videos, but they never suggest of why, or it's their fault. I don't know if it's fault wise, but you know what I'm getting at is.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It's the whole algorithm process of, they're trying to make YouTube better. They're trying to make YouTube accessible for everybody and, as clear as possible. But with every update, you always have to worry about if something's being deleted or something's being changed, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know that they've messed with the algorithm a lot. Yeah. And I know that if you're, let's say, a new viewer, like let's say somebody was watching this right now and they aren't subscribed to either of us, and they watch it for a split second, decide to subscribe, and then they leave. I know sometimes people from YouTube will see that as a bot experience, or like a bot, and they'll get rid of that. At least that's what I've been told. I personally don't know if that has happened to me, because I'm such a small, creator. Like I don't have, I'm less than 100 subscribers. So I don't know if that's actually happened to me yet. But I definitely do know from the other people from the community, they always talk about how make sure to watch it. I think it's like at least 3 minutes of the video before you subscribe or before you like, just so that way it's counted as an actual viewer. rather than YouTube thinking it's a bot and then it not being counted.
Yeah, especially those links in your comment section. That's like as soon as your video posts, you start getting them. Like, do you really watch my videos, or what's this link for? Just like spam, basically. They're
Yeah,
bots.
yeah.
I mean, cool. It's nice to have like a "you're doing great" or "looks good" or "love your video," but there's no real like connection there. It's more like a bot, trying to have YouTube hype you up in a way that you think is a person.
Right. No,
yeah, it is definitely something to watch out for. Is for people who are watching. You're right. At least 3 minutes of a video before you do anything is actually what YouTube counts. Especially if like you watch your video and as soon as you like pause it, go to a different video. As soon as that video stops playing, that's your watch time.
Yeah.
So it could be anything from just the viewer doesn't want to watch it anymore, or they don't have time to watch your whole video, or to the process of maybe their internet went out and just like blocked. Well, YouTube is not perfect, but it all depends on if they can come back and watch the whole video. Does that count as a viewer returning to watch your own video? Does the rest of your viewer that watches the rest, does that even count? Stuff like that. I'd like to make that more clear if possible.
Yeah. I wish that there was some sort of handbook, I guess you can say, that actually like makes it really clear what is going to show negatively as a content creator and what doesn't really matter. Like for example, you could have 1,000 subscribers, right? That's the thing to get monetized is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. But if you only have 1,000 subscribers and you don't have the hours, first of all, you don't qualify. And if you, let's say you bought those, the hours, the subscribers, whatever, then you still have the problem of the activity after the fact. Because half those, fake accounts, they're going to unsubscribe because YouTube is going to realize that those are fraudulent accounts. And I mean, when even as a small content creator myself, when I see someone, let's say with 400 subscribers, and yet all their videos only show like 12 views, I don't know, for me it's a little dismissive because then it feels like, okay, well, they have the subscribers, but they don't have the views, and it's kind of like it just seems kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And Hannah actually commented on the comments saying, so that means the ones who subbed don't watch your video doesn't count. Yeah, if you sub to a channel and you don't watch their video, it won't count. It'll just be like a bystander, basically. So, like, and a lot of the recent updates that YouTube was saying is that they're thinking of taking away sub count. Because sub count is just a number. It's just sub count is basically like any kind of subscription to anything you want to watch. It just lets you know the updates and notifications of a video. Subs don't necessarily count. It's the views that count. So necessarily if you watch a video and then you watch some more videos of that same person, that counts a lot more towards their greatest success and view time watch and YouTube recommendations as far as a sub. Because you can do a sub for sub, sub for sub. You sub to another person's video and nothing happens, they're not going to gain anything from it. So that's the whole point of YouTube trying to focus more on views and watch time versus actual subs.
Yeah, they're looking for that, constant activity because without it, they just see it as a bot and they just want to diminish it.
And especially if bot or not, it's the, what would you say? Oh, no, I just went blank. Whatever I just said. Yeah. Yeah. It'll come to me eventually.
It'll come back to you. Yeah, I have those moments all the time. I will be in literally mid-sentence, and all of a sudden my mind just stops. I'm like, what was I just saying? But I think another negative to me about YouTube is how hard it is to get to find other small content creators so that way you can have a community that is relative to your content, because it is so easy to find the ones that are trending, the ones that have a crazy amount of views, but to find others that are like yourself, like for me, like, you know, someone with less than 100 subscribers, I would rather be subscribed to people in that range, because I want to, you know, promote people like me, promote small content creators, make sure that we get to our goals, because I know that the small content creators, we understand how hard it is to get just to even 100 subs, you know, like how much time it takes. You think that it's super easy, but it's not. I mean, frankly, I think, you know, people used to think that YouTube was super easy because, I mean, you see like people like David Dobrik, Jeffree Star, all the makeup artists, like they're like, you know, having millions of subscribers and, you know, millions of likes, you know, branching out and having actual like industries from their channel, making a living from it. And then you think, oh, you know, they're just at home on the computer or on their phone making videos, posting it, and that's it. No, it takes so much more work. And I don't think that people who get credit for that, of how time consuming it is, how anxiety, like how much anxiety you get from it. It's a lot of work. And people, I think, really need to show us the respect for it.
Yeah, especially with a lot of my family members, they're like, "Oh, cool, you have a gaming channel. That's cool. You just get to sit down and play video games all day." I'm like,
If only it was that simple.
I play maybe an hour of a video game a day. The rest is scheduling, recording, editing, outlining. It's just a whole day on top of everything you do. It's like, yeah.
And that's another thing. I mean, those of us who don't make a living from our YouTube channel, we still have other work and other things we had to do with our life. This is something even extra that we put on top of our regular days.
Yeah.
Like, it's so I find it annoying that for someone who's just starting, we don't get the opportunities to grow as fast. And I just think that's really unfortunate that, you know, YouTube doesn't help their small content creators. I mean, I get that we have to work for it. I'm all for that. But sometimes, I mean, it feels near impossible.
Yeah. It's basically figuring out the algorithm and how your mindset is. Like, as for a content creator, we know what we like. We know what we like to watch. Excuse me. And a lot of the misconception is with that is we do based on what we like. We don't do based on what other people want to see. And that's where a lot of small content creators usually fall off the platform, thinking that it's YouTube's job to promote us. Like, it's YouTube's job to make us grow, which isn't. It's our responsibility as a content creator to provide the content that people want to watch.
I was actually just recently, I just recently watched a live of a small content creator. I think it was either yesterday or the other day. And the person made the comment of, you know, guys, talk to me. Let me know. Let's, you know, like, you know, what should I do right now? When I heard that, I immediately thought, well, really, it's not the viewer's job to entertain you.
Yeah,
the whole point of a viewer is for them to be entertained by the host, not the other way around. That's the whole. I mean, the reason you subscribe to someone is because they are entertained by what you do, or they relate to the content that you do. This is on you, not the viewer. The viewer is the one that you're trying to, you know, capture their attention, not for them to capture yours.
Yeah, and I'm all for, you know, commenting. Let's have a conversation on some gameplay that I've done, or, you know, just don't give me advice of what content to create based on me asking you what you want to watch. So
yeah. I made the first mistake when I first started YouTube. I made the mistake of thinking, what is the content I should be making that's going to make people want to watch? Because, I mean, at the time, I was doing my channel makeup related, and I do love makeup. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to dress up.
It's also a really big competitive on YouTube for
makeup. Super competitive. You really need to be on your game when you're doing the makeup content, because there are just so many influencers in that topic.
But like the gaming too.
Yes, there's definitely a lot, and I think that's the whole point that I'm trying to make is that there's so much there's so much competition that you really need to do it for yourself. You need to enjoy what you do, otherwise you're not going to succeed in what you're trying to create for your channel.
Mm-hmm. Also, with that topic, because of the competitor rates are so high on certain things, going down on your niche actually helped your channel grow a lot faster. With me, I'm a gaming channel. If I did strictly like survival or, strictly, my channel might grow a little bit more because that's how people really, I just saw that comment.
Right, I did too.
I just like
no, you're not. You're good. We're just saying that it's going to be very competitive and it's going to take time and a lot of work. That's all we're saying.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not good with makeup. Trust me, anything that you do would probably taught me. Me is foundation, mascara, eyeshadow, eyeliner. That's it.
That's it.
That's
right?
Like nothing. I am actually really jealous of anyone who can perform makeup or like anything.
It's really impressive because the amount of like work you put into your face when it comes to doing your makeup, like first of all, sorry, my dog is crying. First of all, the end look, it seems so natural. Like, yes, there's makeup there, obviously, but you think it's just like one or two steps. Like, that's what I mean by a natural look. But when you watch the process, it's kind of just kind of like, how did the beginning end up from that to that? Not that like our natural beauty isn't beautiful. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how, the contour, the highlight,
if you can
the
shape
blush.
your face differently.
Those makeup artists, the ones that literally change into different people, I love watching those videos. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I am mesmerized. Please do more.
It's like, see, I like to paint and stuff, but watching like a Bob Ross paint, I'm just like, whoa, check out.
Magician.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I need to go step one.
My trees aren't like that. My trees are like square.
I just do the classic Christmas tree. Do like a really thin triangle.
Your dog wants to put makeup on.
Yeah. And add some tinsel. That's about it, like little lines. But okay, I think we've talked. Well, is there anything else that we missed? We're supposed to be talking about the negative side of like YouTube, like the negative parts of it.
Oh yeah, by going down your niche and the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of keywords also will help too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. That's definitely something I noticed because before I didn't even know that you could put tags on YouTube. I know that you can put tags on everything else like Instagram, Twitter, etc. But I had no idea that you could do it on YouTube. And ever since I started, because you actually told me, I was like, maybe I should add that to the thing. I noticed that my views from one day to the other, there was like 20 more views compared to before when it was like 2-3 a day. There was actually like a big increase from before when I didn't use tags to now that I do use tags.
Yeah.
And it's all about appropriate tags too.
Oh yeah. It has to be like common use. It can't be like
everything.
Gamer. I'm like, oh well, that's a broad topic. Video game. Oh, cool. So yeah, the more it's specify, the more YouTube can actually reach out to an audience that's specifically looking for those type of videos.
Yeah. I think another thing that for when it comes to a negative thing about YouTube is I personally, I love a little bit of drama, watching a little bit of drama. Not too much, but just enough,
the friend show drama.
But I think what bothers me is the creators who are on YouTube that like spill the tea. I honestly, I get what they're doing. They get a lot of views and, people love drama. But sometimes they create more drama by spilling the tea than, just letting the drama that already happened happen.
Exactly. Yes.
And to me, that's a little bit of a bullying type thing. And I'm not I hate bullies. And I know that they're not doing it on purpose because they always show a disclaimer like, don't go bully this person. Like, don't go attack this person based on what you see here. But people do. They always do. And they always will because people don't listen. No offense to people, but most people do not listen. They think, just because it's online, that if, then it's no big deal. Like I can do whatever I want,
Yeah.
And that's not true. Like even all these influencers, if they have millions of dollars, good for them. But just because they have millions of dollars doesn't mean that they don't get hurt when someone is in their DM saying, go kill yourself, or you're stupid, or your makeup looks sucks. So like all these negative things, And the reason why most of the reason why they start talking like that is because they watch some sort of drama on YouTube where they spilled the tea, and because they watch Spill the Tea, they feel like they should pass judgment directly to the person that they spilled the tea about. And I don't like that kind of content personally. But it's just, I just find that's, I think the point I'm trying to make is just because you see something on YouTube, like see somebody's videos.
Or any social media.
Or any social media, yeah. That does not mean you have the right to indignify them. Like, you shouldn't be messaging them privately saying negative comments. Like, you do not know this person. You don't know the whole story. You are only saying, like, one side. One side. That's it. So, but that's just my opinion.
That's just her, Don't go for her.
Yeah. All the spilled tea people, I'm not trying to come for you. I'm just saying that your audience is buttholes.
Dang. I was just drinking tea, too. That would be funny if I accidentally spilled it.
Right.
Anyway.
I love tea.
I do too.
But dog is just staring at me.
Your dog?
Yes. Oh no, he's hyper. Lord Jesus. Oh well.
You should give him a kiss.
If I did that, he would be more hyper.
So what are since you're such a, I'm not saying it's because you're such a small content creator, but
what are you saying?
Because you have started up on YouTube, have you gotten like any, we talked about bots, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel like YouTube is over pushing its limits and trying to encourage you, or do you think that it doesn't encourage you enough to see not so people's comments? Yes, it's positive, but it's not a person.
Well,
or do you even care for comments?
I honestly love seeing the comments just because I know that there's more activity, more engagement, and I like seeing engagement because it feels like, that I'm doing something and that it's not for naught. But I have gotten negative comments one time, and it was by this like 11-year-old. And I think she literally commented, "You think you're so cool." And when I saw that, I just thought it was the most hilarious thing ever because I was a teacher's pet. I'm an introvert. Like, I don't try to be anything but me. And I like saying that I'm a weirdo. I'm very happy being a weirdo. But when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Yes, I am cool. I'm a cool weirdo. So, but I just found it funny. If I don't know the person, if they say something negative, I'm not going to take it personally just because I don't know them. If I did know them, then that's something else because then their word is valid because they know me.
Okay, Hannah.
Okay, bye,
she's
Hannah.
Going to bed. You can always watch this. It'll be up later. So
yes, you can come back to it.
Have a good night.
But what was I saying?
Yeah.
But for like the bot comments where I don't know the person and there are these comments, I mean, I unfortunately have gotten comments from, I don't know that I want to call them scammers, but like people who try to send you to like a porn link. Like I've gotten those, like the time they put a time and then they just, exactly, and then it shows you to an inappropriate place.
I've actually deleted one for you.
I've had to go and delete them multiple times. I'm just like, why does this keep happening? And I've noticed that it's happened a few times to other small content creators where it gets through. And I'm just wondering, okay, I understand that, YouTube has some sort of way of blocking inappropriate things. How do they not know that that's not inappropriate? I think if it's a link, it should be blocked off. Even if it's just to share something, in the comments, I think it should honestly just be regular comments. Because if you're showing a link in the comments, it's like, okay, are you trying to promote yourself? What are you promoting? Like that. I think the comments are not a place to promote anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless you're promoting certain, like, your own videos.
Well, if it's in the description, like, let's say, I put a link to Instagram in my description. to me that's normal. But I'm
No, I
just
mean
saying,
like to the point where you're having a conversation, be like, oh, so if you like this video, I have another video you might like, and you could post your video there, and that's how you can grow your channel more. That's the purpose of how YouTube thinks. But there is if you go to your settings, I can show you after the stream, where you can actually disable links in your comments.
oh, I didn't know that. Well, that actually brings me to another point, because she like to grow, like, you know, related relative content, like the same. People promoting themselves in other people's channels bothers me. Like, I don't mind if you like DM me, like, and say, like, you know, I'm a small content creator. I honestly don't mind that. Like, you can absolutely ask for my support and I will let you know. But to do it in comments, to ask a simple question, great. But to do a link to go that far, to me, I don't know. It seems like it's going an extra step, and like like
unless
a little
you have
bit
like a conversation that eventually leads up to it.
Yes, a
not just a
conversation that
plain
leads up.
old, here's my link, go check me out.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a difference between when someone is actually like having a conversation and you like are thinking the same way, where you want to support each other, and then someone's just like blurting out like, go follow me, go subscribe to me, do this.
So sub for sub. I can't stand that. I even have it in my descriptions. Please no sub for sub. And there's always those people that don't read.
And that I didn't even see the problem, like, because for me personally, when I was first starting, when it comes to social media in general, Instagram, everything, I did the follow for follow, the sub for sub, because I didn't see the problem with it at first, because like, you know, I'm trying to grow, I'm trying to get my following, trying to get my subscribers, but then realizing that, you know, nobody engages, because for me, I engage in people I follow, I engage with people I subscribe to, and if I don't, then I'm not following or I'm not subscribing, because then it's just a waste of space on my feed.
Yeah, it's just a number by then.
Exactly. And then on top of that, people who do the sub for sub, follow for follow, most of the time those people unsub, unfollow. And then you're just left there with, you know, following somebody and not getting the same follow, where your number is just, you know, they go like this. Instead of going like this, they go like this.
And it's funny you say that, because YouTube's thought process of sub for sub is bannable. You cannot sub for sub on YouTube, which I think is pretty funny. Yes, that's why if you see any,
but how do they know?
In the comment section, they will say sub for sub, or you know, if you ask to subscribe and stuff like that, it's bannable.
Oh, well,
YouTube doesn't like that, just because it doesn't help. It doesn't, you know.
That's why they do it on Instagram, where if you post something about your YouTube, they'll do it there. Because I've never seen someone do it on my YouTube, but now I know why. Okay, what's about the good things about YouTube?
Yeah, talk about some good things. Growing a community that's passionate and love what you do. That's something, especially growing up nowadays, it's like no big deal. Oh, gamer girl, cool, you know. But back then it was like, you know, it was hard for me to
negative nerd thing.
Yeah, it was hard for me to engage in my kind of passion and likes, because I am a girl and girls aren't really gamers back when I was growing up. So I always found myself hanging out with like the boys at school instead of, you know, the girls that go and talk about makeup and all this other stuff that I wasn't really interested in. So it was like, I would love, because back then there was all the cool like 90s YouTubers back in the day when there was no real drama. There were skits. There was like, you know, the few gamers that were like, oh, cool. I can relate to her because she plays games that I do. And, you know, that's more of an engaging process. It makes you feel like you're a part of something. Yeah. It's like an escape to reality kind of thing. And that's why I really wanted to be a YouTuber. Not for the money or anything. If anything, I'm not ever going to have ads or anything for my content. I just do it just to have a day-to-day base on people who share passion. And if I can make a smile on someone's face, then that's all I want. So
I definitely hear you there when it comes to like, you know, starting this not for the money. For me, I just wanted to find people that had the same mindset as me when I first, because, you know, I was trying to do lifestyle content, and I wanted people that had similar, not opinions, but like similar thought process. Like, for example, I'm very, you know, I'm introverted, and I'm awkward and I have an anxiety. And frankly, I don't know a lot of people like me in real life. And I thought YouTube would be a great place to find my fellow peeps that were just as awkward as I am. And
it's hard to find them though.
It is hard to find them. Like, I'm honestly surprised how hard it is. Like, there's so many people that are just like, that know what they're doing, that have just the same. I wouldn't say like they're like robots where they're all the same, because everyone is different. Everyone has different content. Everybody has, their own niche. But it's just more like there are people that are super confident, and then there are people that are not so confident. And I'm in the not so confident, and it's like this big. And I can't find anybody else. I find all the confident people, and I'm stuck. I
can go to a mall with 1,000 people and be so awkward and have more people talk to me than I do on YouTube.
That's a perfect way to describe it. It's like being at the mall with thousands of people talking to you, and and then you go to YouTube and it's like, where you at?
Where the crickets going from? One of the other things I like about YouTube is, other than you can be yourself, is this is kind of a good and bad. I don't know how you want to put this. A lot of the big content creators are dying. Not dying as in gone from the world, but dying as in, they're retiring. They want to, do something else. They don't want to be on YouTube when they're like 50. That's a number. They're not all really 50, but they got 26 million subscribers, and like they're gonna get tired. They want to do something else. They want to maybe start a family. They want to, and that is great for us.
Yes.
The smaller groups that are trying to rise up a new generation of YouTubers, and that's what's so important, is colliding with others that share a passion or, small YouTube success, and try to grow from there as the next big thing. Right. To kind of replace them, like any other society where, you have kids and the kids grow up, and that's it's kind of like that.
Yeah, definitely. That actually kind of brings me to, because that's gonna be relative to something that I'm gonna talk about when we talk about Instagram. Because with the old going out and the new coming in, I have some negative thoughts about younger people on social media.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get started. Oh, like your so-called 11-year-old that your content's not child friendly. Oh, okay. Cough.
But I think another thing that I appreciate about YouTube being, a good thing about it is that you can learn so freaking much. If you don't know how to cook, go to YouTube. If you don't know how to change your oil, go to YouTube. If you don't know how to do this, go to YouTube. I guarantee you, there is nothing on YouTube that doesn't show you how to do something if you don't know how to do it.
Yeah, YouTube is the world's second largest search engine in the world.
I'm a visual learner, and I think society has finally understand the importance of different education when it comes to not just, read a book, learn, that there's different students who learn different ways. Like, I think we've normalized that now finally.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, it was not normalized. Like, when I was in elementary school, literally we were given so much paperwork. There was no visual, and it's elementary school. You would think there would be more visual, but literally it was just constant work pages, workbooks. No, there was no sort of difference when it came to being taught. But I feel like nowadays, I think even with COVID going on, I mean, the fact that we've had the students have had to go to school online. I don't know, because I don't go to school, haven't gone to school during COVID, but it's just, you get the different teaching still. Like, teachers will have a whiteboard behind them or something, and you'll learn either visually, or if you're by a book person, then you read your book. I was making a point with this. I don't know how I started. Okay, hold on. I have to go back. What was I talking about?
People learn different ways.
People learn different ways. Oh, yes. Sorry. I was like, but that's what I like about YouTube, is because I think they realize that YouTube is a perfect place to get to people who don't know how to do things themselves, and reading instructions is a pain in the butt, and where they can literally make make people happy because they give a visual to it. You know, for example, I just recently changed my windshield wipers by myself, and the instructions are very, you know, like do it after I did it. It
Have
made
you
sense.
seen IKEA's structure building?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
I'm not a mechanic.
And that's why I love
know.
YouTube. I just simply put in change
Mhm.
windshield wipers, and there were so many things that popped up. If I didn't understand from one person, I could just go to the next. And that's what I like about YouTube is that
Mhm.
it's just so helpful and useful, and it's a great tool.
Mhm. Yeah, another thing that I'm glad you mentioned it, because this is the thing I was going to say earlier, is if you don't understand or don't know about one person, you can go to another channel and learn something different. That's a lot about the competition and small YouTube creators, is the viewers trying to find who's relatable to them, what
Mm-hmm.
they like, and what they feel when they subscribe to someone, which helps a little of us grow. So that's what that point I was making earlier that I blanked out on for some weird reason.
No, I'm glad that you finally came to it. Hold on. There is a mosquito, and I have to kill it before it bites me because I'm allergic to mosquitoes. I don't. Ah! I'm freaking out. Okay, Star Wars, you're gonna be my killing thing.
Ooh. Dun, 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 dun. That's it. I can't be copyrighted.
Ah! Oh, wait! Yeah. Die. I want you dead.
Make a dog eat it.
No, you probably get sick.
Dude, my dog eats like cockroaches and all those other things he finds.
My dog does too, but he gets sick afterwards.
Really?
He's always getting sick.
Ugh.
Sorry, I got distracted with the mosquito because I did not want to get stung.
A new thing that YouTube came up with, which I don't know if I like it or hate it, are YouTube Shorts, and that's basically like
I've heard about it, but I have yet to see a YouTube short. What is that?
YouTube Shorts are basically like little small clips of a video or, you know, news feed in a way. So basically think of Instagram stories, basically what they are. But like you can do a video. The only thing I don't like, I mean, it's creative. They're trying to pursue like little snippets for people to notice you. To get to be like, oh, this person's funny, or I like this clip. What video from their channel is that so I can watch it? Kind of thing. But the only thing is that they don't have to use their content. They can use the audio from a different content creator's content by either reacting, stealing their audio, or their video.
Well, don't they have to give some sort of credit?
That's the thing. YouTube just updated that an opt-in that they can use, that a person can use any one of their videos as a check mark automatically. So you have to go down to your videos and uncheck it to every video you have so far. However, there's a little note that says you can't do that to all your videos. It just happened today. So I don't know what YouTube's going to do with that. I mean, copyright, obviously. They can't get monetized for it. Like they can't get money for other people's content. So what YouTube's probably going to do is if shorts do go to money, then audio that's not originally theirs, we could probably get some of it, and then they get some of it for promoting us. Or they just need to change an opt-all option for us that's not automatically checks us off. Because that's what made me so mad is they automatically say it's okay for us without any notification that they updated that. I just saw it. And then I researched it because it was another option that I just uploaded a video today. Not short. Not promoting, but I've seen it. And I was wondering what that button was that I checked off, which I never checked off before. So just to let you know.
Well, do you think the reason why they're doing that this new update, because I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know anything about it. Do you think the reason why they're doing this new thing is because they're trying to compete with, the other platforms?
Oh, definitely. Most definitely.
I think that's something. Go ahead.
I just don't think that it's fair for people who spent their time and work and doing original content to be shown by not copyrighted, because they can't say it's copyright since it's shorts, but we are not actually given permission to share our content, which I don't know, maybe YouTube overlooked it or is still working on it. I mean, it's just came out, so it could be endless possibilities. I just find it a little weird that they didn't give us any notification or email or, didn't notify us in a way that, because originally all of our content is, once we upload it to YouTube, that's YouTube's property regardless. So YouTube can actually do whatever it wants. It just makes me mad to think that they really don't really care about copyrights or care about, what we think that our video is being shared on. Because I bet you've seen this a lot of things. There's a lot of gaming channels. Say, I have my series of Danganronpa, for example. I could post a video. Some other person can post their own video of a Danganronpa. And the views can vary. Which way? So to say, like, if my original content got 26 views, and they posted a clip of mine and they got 3 million of my content, my clip, how would you feel about that?
That's that actually makes me think about something else. If you were not a small content creator, like if you were, let's say some influencer, big platform, whatever, do you think that would be still happening where there wouldn't be a problem that they wouldn't be able to copyright? Because I feel like it's only towards small content creators that we have the issue, because if our stuff gets used, it can be used and used and used and nobody was going to care. No one's going to give credit to the small content creator because someone made it bigger on their thing. Versus if it was an influencer saying that somebody used their content and they can make a big deal about it because, they're an influencer. I mean, don't you, wouldn't you agree that there's a difference between who it's really going to affect versus who it's not going to affect?
Definitely. It'll definitely affect in a different way. But regardless of the video you produce, if YouTube sees your content being used for another person, they automatically send you in your studio exactly whose channel and what person used your content and the timestamp of what they did to it. So YouTube will notify you, and you have the authority to write them a copyright strike or a copyright claim, and then they can either dispute it, which you and them have a little disagreement, but you have the final say in what they do because that is your content. YouTube actually doesn't have any control over that. They just notify you when someone's using your content.
Well, at least they notify you.
Yeah, they'll notify you, and you have the options of what to do.
Act accordingly. In reference to, people kind of doing the shorts and using other people's content, that I think that's a good transition over to TikTok, because TikTok, there is a lot of creators who copy the exact same and do it themselves, but they get it from someone else, meaning they copy the exact thing, but they get the credit, and the original content creator doesn't get the credit, and they don't even get credited at all from where they got their content from.
That's exactly how TikTok does it. So, but TikTok is like a sharing platform to where it's not copyright or it is copyright, but they're more lenient on it being totally the entertainer's way of making it their own in some form or fashion. Yeah, you can steal their audio without getting in trouble or anything, but I don't know. I really don't know the ins and outs on TikTok. I just know that their videos are funny sometimes, and I end up watching it for hours without even noticing.
Just scrolling.
Basically, yeah.
You're supposed to go to bed 10, and then you would see the time it's 3 in.
Right.
No, because I scroll all the time on TikTok because it's videos, it's entertaining, and you just watch one and you scroll to the other one and you keep going. But I always.
Sorry. I was going to say that's exactly how a person's attention span is, even on YouTube. That's why a lot of them say for your intro videos, no longer than 45 seconds, because as soon as that video starts from beginning to end, 45 seconds is like the max of the introduction of a person's attention span. So if you don't hook that person in the first 30, 45 seconds of your video, they're probably going to click off. That's why thumbnails That's why
thought process.
thumbnails, yeah, that's why thumbnails and titles are so important to catch their eye. Thumbnails are visual, like you said, you're a visual person. So, when you read a text from a textbook, it might not be, fascinating, but then you look at some bright thumbnail of whatever crazy thing that's happening, you're going to want to click it. And then if you
Yes.
see it's not what you wanted to click in the first 30 seconds of what you wanted, you're probably going to click off or scroll fast forward until you get to that part.
True. I've unfortunately done that many times, because not for small content creators, because I like watching the small content creators because I want to give them credit to where credit is due. But for people who have like millions of followers or even 100,000 followers, like I'll scroll to the part that shows the thumbnail, because most of the time they, in particular, like the bigger platforms, they will have the interesting thumbnail basically at the very end. And it's like, the whole reason I clicked on this, like, it's clickbait. And clickbait is great when it comes to, catching your eye for something. But if you're using a specific part that is only that part, I just find it kind of like false advertisement. It's like, this is not even what the video is about.
You want the build up. Like, you want maybe like a little teaser, like a little like 5-second of the thumbnail or what the video is going to be about in the beginning. So they're like, okay, I did click on the right video. I am going to see that. I get just to see the buildup from it.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't like clickbait. I'm not a fan of it. Like, I do get it for, some things, but when it comes to the big content creators who already have a huge following, it's just kind of like, why are you doing this? Like, you just make me want to unsubscribe.
Well, some content creators have such a high fan base that they really don't need it. Like,
they don't even need it half the time.
I've seen so many people have just like do their face, something that went on the video in text, and a color background. That's it. And there's like millions of views. It's just because of who they are and what community they have gained throughout the years.
Yes.
That'd be awesome if I could do that. Like, I spend so many times just thinking of like cool things to do, but that comes to the process of what I think is cool. I'm guilty of thinking of other people. Like, do you people think this is cool? Should I make a weird face? Or,
I personally love the derpy faces. Like, I wish that I could just do derpy faces for my thumbnails, because to me, I think my derpy faces are entertaining. Like, it makes people laugh. It either makes people laugh because they find it funny, or it makes them laugh because they're like, do you feel embarrassed? Should I feel embarrassed for you? But it's still entertaining. But I end up not doing it because it's kind of like, where are my awkward, derpy people at? Like, who will appreciate my derpiness? Exactly. So,
dude, I do so many weird faces that I end up like not using them half the time, because I'm like, what is that?
Maybe it's too far. Maybe I deform my face a little too much. But yeah. Okay, let's see. We've talked about YouTube. We've talked about the good and the bad. Mostly the bad, because there's a lot of negatives. It's still great.
Yeah, it's still great. But until we actually learn more, like experience-wise, I don't think we can get much of a input. Derpy. So derpy is basically like a funny face. Basically, is what it is.
It's like a
hipster name for a funny face, like LOL, little grandmas.
Frankly, I think derpy face is more like Mr. Bean. Have you watched the movie Mr. Bean? The faces he makes that are so like dramatic and over the top. Hi, Tiny. Those I would say are derpy faces. Yeah. Can you go lay down? I should stop hitting you so you can lay down. But anyways, what were we going to talk about?
I don't know. You were going to change the topic from YouTube to something else.
Yes. So we talked about YouTube, the good and the bad. I think another huge platform that definitely has good and bad is Instagram. There's just like, and I honestly think the list when it comes to Instagram in particular, I think for anyone, it's actually pretty even when it comes to good and bad. Like to me, YouTube, I think personally YouTube has more faults than it has good things. I think that it's a little uneven, but I think for Instagram, me personally, that it's just like, it's about the same. Like, but when there's a bad, something good cancels it out, and it just keeps like going for anything. My dog's crying.
It's okay. So, what do you want to talk? Let's talk about your side, for example, because I think I started out YouTube with talk about the bad things. What do you say about Instagram that's bad?
So I think definitely one of the bad things is something we already kind of like talked about earlier is the whole follow for follow. I definitely think that's a bad thing just because when it comes to that, people are always either in your comments or in your DMs. Like there's like a lot of them where it's just like follow for follow, follow for follow. And it's not even a nice way of saying it. Like it's literally follow for follow or F for F. You know what I mean?
DM me for more.
Or DM me, and it's just kind of like, you're the one that came to my page. Like, you know, like at least have the decency to go to my DMs.
I had so many people be like, collab, ? And then they have like, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Or they have a go here to promote your whatever, and it's just, and say that.
But then you gotta pay for it. It's like, you went to me.
I hate those the most.
I can't stand them.
Like, there's so much, like, I get, like, you know, you're trying to get customers and whatever, or trying to promote whatever you're trying to promote. But if you're going to someone else, like, if they're not coming to you, why in the world would you ask them to be an ambassador or to do something, and then in reality, they still have to pay for the product? That's just a customer who you can happen to say is, you know, an ambassador. Yeah, it's a customer. Exactly. It's a elevated customer. But in the good regards to that, though, because, you know, the whole follow for follow or whatever is you do once in a while have the good ones where it's an actual another person of your interest where it's like, you know, I love your page, or they say something nice, so you, of course, you know, you click on it or click on their username, check out their page, and it's like, oh, this is like a real person. This person isn't trying to sell me anything. This person has, you know, some interesting stuff going on. So that way you're able to do it because they saw it, because they saw you in their feed, clicked on your thing and made a nice comment, a genuine comment, which is great.
You know what I don't like?
What don't you like? Oh Lord, she has to. What's it called?
Quench my saltiness here. All right, so talking about YouTube and all that, the good old CEO count score, where people go on Instagram specifically, at least for me, because when I post something about gaming or anything about it, they're like, oh, she has hashtag YouTuber. She has a YouTube channel. Let me DM her. And instead of saying, you're doing great, you know, just a nice word. It's, hey, you're doing great as a content creator. Love your videos. I see that you don't have a high view count.
Yes.
I would like to help you organically grow. And then, like, for a low cost, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did I ask your help? Did
I didn't reach out to you to grow? I literally, every time you have that hashtag that's relative to YouTube in any sort of way or relative to growing or anything, you get those, you get those comments and DMs about them trying to sell you this service. And I'm just like, why? I didn't come to you. If that was something that was in my mind to do, that if I felt I needed to buy my subscribers or buy my followers or buy this, buy that, I would have come to you.
They use the word, I'll let you grow organically.
Organically,
that's not organic growth. That's me paying you to pay for my views and subs, which is illegal on YouTube terms. You can't buy or sell views.
Yeah, no. And I think that's what's so frustrating. It's like you said, using the term organic when you're buying them. Like, if there's an actual service that, oh my goodness, an actual service where it is truly organic, where there is a community that, you know, that they are asking you to become part of, that's fine. I love that. But those who are literally just these people trying to sell a service, it's just kind of like, why? I don't need that. Even though I'm small, I'm happy being small.
Yeah. The worst part about that promotion, it'd be okay if, you know, I pay X amount of money and I get results. But their promotion is, I'll give you money, but it's not, they don't go and say, tell these people to go sub. It's, we'll show your video, And if they decide to click on your video, then they'll click on your video. And that's organic because that's their choice. But they gain more for your income than you do for the views that they send out.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And I've watched YouTube channels where the people with actual big platforms already, they'll make a separate account and showing you why you shouldn't be doing it, which I actually love watching because it's kind of like, there are some days where I'll see my view count and see my subscribers and I'm just thinking, should I do it? Should I pay for the subscribers or pay for the followers? And of course I decide that no, that's stupid. What am I thinking? I'm just having a bad day. But I'll see those videos and them showing, talking, having the whole conversation with people trying to sell the service and them going through with it. And even when they go through with it, there are those numbers where it's the subscribers, like you'll see the whole thing happen. And then like a day later, 2 days later, most of the subscribers drop because, again, YouTube sees what's going on and they'll get rid of those. So that's why they always make a separate account and why they don't show it on their account, because they know what's the outcome. Because most of the time, people who do that, people who buy subscribers, if they buy too many, especially like who try to get monetized with fake subscribers, they will cancel your whole channel. They will give you the boot. So it's not worth it in the long run. So I don't get why these people feel like, I know that there's a lot of gullible people out there, myself included, but it's so many different people all the time. I just find it interesting that they have that many customers to where they keep on, going.
Yeah, I think it's like playing tug of war with a wall. You can keep pulling, but you can't go nowhere. There's no results you can see on the other side. So.
Okay, another thing, well, sorry, this isn't relative, but this is something that literally just popped in my head.
Yeah, go ahead.
But another thing about Instagram that I find really, really negative is I am all for filters. I personally use filters all the time myself because I have acne and I want to hide my acne, whatever. But what bothers me sometimes is that there are certain people who will try to pass that off as natural.
Oh, yeah.
And Instagram in particular, I feel like does that the most. And of course, right now there's a video going where if you go to the Instagram feed, I'm sure you've seen it, where they literally say this is a reminder that Instagram is fake, or Instagram, filters are fake or whatever, which is great. But that doesn't change the fact that there are so many content creators that's not content creators. What's the Instagram version of content creators? Is it the same thing?
I think it's the same thing.
Same thing.
They're creating content. I mean, they
are creating content. But where
internet influencer? I don't know.
Is it influencer? Maybe it's small influencers. Small influencers. Okay, I think I'll stay with that. But where they try to say that it is natural, or where they go the extra mile to make it seem like it's effortless when it's truly takes a ton of effort.
Yeah.
And I just think that's unfortunate for all the younger kids who are in middle school and high school who are just recently on Instagram, just got a fresh new account, and they're seeing all this. There's a standard now, where you have to be a certain way or have a certain aspect if you're trying to have a following, that is. Like, if you're just having a private account, there's no worries, because most of the time people with private accounts, they're just doing themselves, Yeah,
they have their friends and family, and they know. So it's they know it's a filter. They know it's fake and what's not. But I get what you're saying when it comes to influencing the younger generation and the expectations that they need to perceive themselves as based on videos and photos that they see on the internet.
Yeah. Excuse me 1 second. Hold on. Yeah. So sorry.
Your poor dog.
I know. It's because I'm talking and there's no background noise. So he's like, why are you not paying attention to me?
So mistreated.
No! But what was I saying? We were talking about Instagram, so the people who are just coming onto it and having to deal with those somewhat standards, that seem normal, they don't realize that it's fake until they've truly, spend time on it. Years pass and, you graduate from middle school, graduate from high school, and you're like, oh, this was all fake.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just think it's unfortunate because I feel like, we have normalized but all different shapes and sizes. I can't think because my dog keeps crying. I think he has to go out. But we have mostly normalized all different shapes and forms of our bodies, especially for women. That is, like, before, like, if you were even a little bit overweight, like, it was like you were called fat and you were called ugly, whatever. But now, I think we've definitely made it more normal, like almost like regular normal, where it's just kind of like it's a different standard of beauty, and which is great. That's awesome. But oh my god.
Would you like to take him out?
I think I have to take him out. I'm going to be a quick pause.
All right.
So if you want to stay on, you totally can. But I'm gonna pause my video and my mic real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Oh man. Yeah, social media is definitely something else nowadays. But as Miss Mia goes to take her dog out, if this would be a good part, if y'all have any questions or any comments y'all like to share, don't be afraid. I'd like to answer them. And regarding anything from our past conversations to now, we still have a few social medias to cover. And what are we doing for Cinco de Mayo? I think I'm just going to chill at home, maybe do a little barbecuing. I'm from good old state of Texas, so barbecue's good here. Yeah, do a little grill outside, have friends and family come over. Nothing too big, but yeah, that's what I usually do for Cinco de Mayo. What are you doing? I'm always curious to know what other people do for Cinco de Mayo. Hey, that was fast.
Yes, I'm having my boyfriend deal with it.
Nice. We're talking about Cinco de Mayo.
Nice. Yeah. I don't have any plans for Cinco de Mayo other than working and trying to.
We're content creators. We don't get rest.
No, we do not. Okay.
Working. Dang.
Yes.
You gotta do.
Always busy. Gotta be on the grind. So what were we talking? We were talking about Instagram and the whole. I can't even remember. I just know it was about Instagram.
Talk about the younger generations and their expectations of nowadays. And you were just saying how we normalized all different kinds of the woman's body shape, size, color, all this.
Yes. Okay. I was going to make a point with that. So we normalize that, which is great. Like, that's totally awesome. But there are a lot of things that we haven't normalized, of course. And for all the younger kids who are coming onto it, and I'm talking about like the really young kids who are literally just like oblivious to how society is. But we haven't normalized, like, let's say textured skin, pimples. We still haven't normalized that. We still think it's so gross that we have to edit them off. We haven't normalized, what else is there? There's so many things. I just can't think of them right now because I was distracted with my dog. That's okay. But the idea is that we have we have a susceptible.
I can't even say it now.
See, it's a hard word. But the audience, we have to be better for the people coming onto Instagram. We have to make them feel like everything, like they can be their own person where they don't have to change themselves. And we still Instagram still hasn't done that. And that's the point I was trying to make. Instagram still is this place of conformity where it's not individual. Oh my God, I can't talk today. Yes. Yeah. But, we can't truly accept ourselves because society, Instagram hasn't made it, a warm welcome. If that makes sense. And this isn't always the case. Like, this is a smaller part of it nowadays, but before it was a huge part. Like, before it was like, but now, I mean, there are communities out there who are definitely way more welcoming. I mean, you make strangers with friends all the time because you share the same sort of views or same sort of, ideals.
And sadly,
But
I don't think that's ever going to go away based on people's preferences and the bullying factor. I don't think that's ever going to go away, sadly.
unfortunately, no, it really, really isn't. I mean, considering what's going on with everything right now, like the whole Black Lives Matter, people of
Mm-hmm.
color being discriminated against, street vendors being attacked, like it's just, and that's physical bullying,
Yeah.
like not, and it's not just bullying. I'm not saying like that
Mm-hmm.
it's something minor like that. It's a huge deal that isn't like bullying. It's like attacking. But I'm just saying it's in that category where there's
Yeah.
going to be mean people. There's going to be people
Mm-hmm.
who are going to belittle others just because they can. Nice.
Yeah, yeah, we can't mention that on YouTube, so I can't really say that, but
Yeah.
I am reading your comments and I'm liking it.
You are
Yeah.
acknowledged.
Something about YouTube is we can't talk about
Certain
spicy
things.
drinks.
Adult drinks.
Adult drinks, yeah. And we can't show it on YouTube either.
Mm-mm.
So.
But what was I talking about? So, that's another thing about Instagram is that's negative is there's a lot of bullies on Instagram. Like a lot. Like there are so many people making hate speech, yes, but people who feel like they're entitled to say something when they don't even know the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what bugs me the most about Instagram is that there's just so freaking many.
Yeah, they think they're so entitled.
Mm-hmm. But what are like some negative things that you personally have to deal with when it comes to like Instagram or your views on it?
Let's see. We talked about my public account, which is the gaming one where I have unwanted promoters coming at me, like collabs, sub for sub, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. My experience has been mostly positive, but would I post some stuff that in my private account that has all my high schoolers? I don't know. Like it all depends on, because it doesn't provide to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that sense of feel is I was bullied a little bit, but I know people that don't really would accept things that I do based on their preferences, and just to get away from that drama, I just don't really post anything on my private account anymore. Mm-hmm. I just basically like Facebook in a way. It's just kind of news feed to me.
Right. But, where you just see it and it's just kind of like
scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just basically all I have on Instagram. But the what you were saying for the sub for sub or follow to follow, whatever on Instagram is really annoying compared to like some deals, I guess they call it, where like, hey, if you follow me back, I'll promote you in my story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, cool. But that story only lasts 24 hours. Mm-hmm. Me following you lasts until I unfollow you. But they don't follow you back. You just get a little like side story. And it's like, it's cool if, you want to promote me or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like the whole benefactor of you're not going to pull your weight if I pull mine kind of thing. Like, it's just weird how people would think that, oh, so I can follow you, but I can only do like the bare minimum for you. It'd be totally fine since you agreed on it. Yeah. Which, you do agree on it. I'm not saying it's not their fault. It's just the way your likes count, just like YouTube or any other platform media, TikTok, whatever. The more likes you get, the more it's recommended, the more you're following, the more the platform likes you, because the platform wants people to stay on their platform for longer than you want. So the more likes you get, the more they recommend you. The more they recommend you, the more people see you based on what you put out. Your tags help, but not, completely. It'll just reach like some genre. So it all depends on your audience and views, basically. And a lot of that is characterized into the point where the bigger people will always get first hit, first touch. And that's something that back up before YouTube became so popular, it was anyone who big or small had a better chance at someone seeing them because not a lot of people were on YouTube at that point. So a lot of misconceptions with that is, oh, since I'm a small content creator and the bigger person shouldn't be able to get their video first on the page and me so way down, because that's not fair for me because people can't see me if they scroll down. They'll just pick their person. And so it's like, I don't know.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. So it's about being original, and if someone happens to see it on your feed, that's why thumbnails are so freaking important. I can't stress enough.
Good quality thumbnails,
and not clickbait. I mean,
not
you
clickbait.
can do like you do a little bit where it's like it does give you it does show that you actually have it in your video, that it actually does exist. Because I've seen where like this amazing thumbnail which has nothing to do with the video whatsoever.
I was completely lost with that. I've seen a few of them where I think it was like they were showing a picture of a car, something relative to a car, because I think I was I was like binging on cleaning car videos at the time. And it looked like it was going to be another cleaning one because of the thumbnail. And then it was something about, what was it? It was, I think, about the engine or something. Like, it wasn't relative to the thumbnail, because like it was supposed to be inside the car and like deep cleaning, like the whole scrubbing, whatever. And then all you see is like this view of the engine and then someone talking over in a voiceover. And it's just like,
wow,
this is not what I clicked on here for. But talking about like Instagram, how you have to like do the tags and everything, and how you have to be like, how it's so generalized. That is true. It definitely is. But what I always find like entertaining about Instagram when it comes to tags, like it's good and bad, is you can do up to 30 tags. And it's recommended that you do 30 tags. I mean, people who can actually think of them, like think of all 30, that's awesome. I personally can't, because I'm just like, I'm running out of ideas of like what my image is actually about. Some people can do it really well. I personally cannot. But a negative thing about it is that because they expect you to do all 30 tags, you have less of, that kind of the Instagram push where they push you to the feed if you don't do it. And on top of that, Instagram always changes its algorithm. Like it always changes.
All the time.
Like way more than any other platform, it's consistently changing. And Instagram, I think, frankly, even though it's easier than most other platforms, because everybody has Instagram, everybody's like, it's easier to use. I think what makes it so easy. But Instagram, to become, have a huge following, to grow however you want to, you have to post like 3 posts a week. I think the algorithm right now is 3 posts a week, like 7 stories a week, and then 2 reels and 1 TV one. Like,
I don't even know what the TV and reels are even do.
It's pretty much, you can do any length of the video, but it only goes up for IGTV. But,
okay.
Yeah. But it's like, that's so much content. Like, that's an insane amount of content. Who in the world has the time to do that? Like, yes,
I was going to say, Instagram's trying to become more of a YouTube thing.
It is. It really, really is. It's like trying
social medias are trying to feed off of each other. Like they're like car dealerships. Not getting into cars. I'm just going to try as an example.
Yeah.
It's like they see some model that people are liking, they manipulate it to make it their own, but have the same basic like feature to it. And so they're like, I know TikTok got really popular, and that's why Instagram really got into the video making, because videos and shorts stuff. And then YouTube saw those and TikTok getting popular, so they're putting shorts out. So it's like and Facebook, but YouTube owns Facebook. But yeah. They come around.
And I think that's what's so kind of like infuriating about social media in general, is that before, when I was younger, everything had its own lane. Like
Mhm.
YouTube was specifically for like, videos for whatever. Instagram was pictures and, maybe some small video, like a really tiny one,
Yeah.
but it was mostly pictures. Like it was for pictures.
Mhm.
Facebook was for all of the above, but mostly for like making
Newsfeed.
actual posts, like,
Yeah.
like talking and so on and so forth. But now, if you really look at it, every platform there is something that
It's the same
has
thing.
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing, but just with different names and different like formats. But it's the same thing,
Mhm.
and that's
I'm
what I
old
don't like.
school. Yeah, I'm also old school that I still have a Facebook. And there's a whole gaming channel of people streaming and stuff on Facebook. I'm like, when did this become a thing?
Yes,
When was this a
exactly.
streaming platform? Like,
So it's very interesting how
mhm.
the platforms get jealous of each other and trying to make each
Exactly,
other like
right?
each other. It's like why can't you just accept your individuality and like boost that?
Mhm.
Boost what you were originally created for.
It's just competitors. That's all. They want people to stay on their platform.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my goodness. I know that it's about to be before my time. I don't know what time it is in Texas.
sick.
Did you still have time, or did you
Yeah, we
have
can still
a?
talk a little bit more.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not keeping you from anything
No, just
else.
just food. No, just kidding.
um, but okay, now I think we should talk about more of the positive things because I feel like this has been like a negative
My
Nancy
Debbie
rant, which
Downer.
I don't mind. I like ranting, but
Oh, I
I don't
rant
want
all the
people
time.
to think that I'm a negative Nancy. But something that I think is really great about social media in general is just the connectiveness that you can get from other people, from strangers. Like you can make new friends. Like how you and me met. We've never met in person. We met on Twitter. I think it was
How did
Twitter.
we even meet? Like,
I honestly
no,
don't know.
you sent me a message. You sent me a message
Yes.
about my YouTube channel, I
YouTube
think.
support. I think it was
Yeah,
like if we
like
wanted
small
to
YouTube
support each other.
creator support kind of
Hmm.
thing. But
Yes.
honestly, I thought you were just another sub for sub at first. Like, I'm not even
No.
kidding.
I'm a genuine one. I'm one of the weird ones. I actually mean what I say.
Well, that's why I kind of treated you like, hey, I'll check out your content for sure. And like, if I
Mhm.
like you, I'll follow you. And then, that's how I am. It's like, I'm not
Uh-huh.
just going to follow you or say I'm going to follow you and not do it. So I'm like, instead of
Exactly.
lying or be like kind of showing you off,
Half
I'm like,
truth.
yeah, I'll actually watch your videos, like them, and then, I'll go from there.
Hmm.
Not expecting you to follow me. That's just the kind of person I am. If you want me to watch a video, I'll watch it. No
Hmm.
harm done. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
so, but
that's
one of the things I do
but
love about social media that's positive is there is so much creativity in one person's mind that we can be individual, but yet share the same, um, not imagination. I say
thought
passion way too
process.
much. Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
That
That's
we can
that's the term
connect.
I would
There we go.
use.
We can connect in
There
a
you go.
way.
Hmm.
Yeah. So whether it's through pictures, photography, imaging, coloring, graphs, just all this beautiful thing that's on Instagram, we can go
Hmm.
to YouTube and see it visually through movement, skits, like drama. There's like so much
Hmm.
that we can do in each social media that can connect us and, basically grow and get inspiration from it.
Yeah, and that's what's so great is we get inspired when
Mhm.
when we see and watch the right stuff. It's truly inspiring and makes you want to do more. And I think that's something that I definitely appreciate about when it comes to social media is if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have felt inspired to create a channel myself. I wouldn't have felt inspired to, be myself
Mhm.
in a lack of words. So I just like yes, there's a lot of negativities towards it. Like there's a lot, but
But that's
the
also
main
that's anything starting out. A new job, you're not going to like everything you do. So it's like
yes,
once
yes,
you get into the
exactly.
motion and actually see results, I think that's
Mhm.
when the actual positivity starts to grow. And you kind of weigh down more of the negatives because you know exactly what you're doing, what your audience likes, you're more engaged, and it just goes up from there.
Exactly. It's definitely, you know, based on the results is how you're going to react. I mean, since I'm a small content creator, of course, I'm going to have a lot of negative things to say because, I'm not seeing the engagement, the results that I want to see. But that's to be expected because, again, I'm a small content creator. I have, less than 100 subs. And so my engagement is not going to be like crazy.
We're basically a nobody in short term. So no one's
going
to know.
A fly on the wall.
Who's Miss Mia? Until they actually see our content, no one's going to know who we are.
Exactly. Like and that's another thing when it comes to having all these different platforms is, for example, let's say, I'm trying to promote Penny for Your Thoughts. Being able to have all these different platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever, you're able to reach that much more people. And without those platforms, let's say we only had YouTube, it would be so much harder to get a following, to get subscribers, to actually grow if it wasn't for others.
It'd be so high of a competition that a lot of people are like, what's the point? I might as well just sit here and do nothing and just watch people succeed versus trying it out for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Did you have any positive things about or negative things about media in general, of certain media of any sorts?
No, not really. I mean, I don't know too much about Twitter, so I couldn't really say.
I have my thoughts about Twitter.
So please tell me.
Okay, well,
maybe I can feed off of you, like what we're,
Okay, the good thing. Okay, Twitter back in the day was definitely different than the way it is now. I feel like I never had a Twitter before. I literally just got a Twitter. Well, I just recently became active on Twitter in 2021. I had one in 2016, maybe before that, but literally it was just there. I was never ever on it.
Same.
But now I'm active and I'm trying to, get a following, whatever. I personally don't use Twitter to get a following. It's more just to interact with other people. For example, I'm like one of the admins on for my YouTube support little group that I have on Twitter, which is great. They're a bunch of great ladies, but because I'm, trying to keep everyone to being engaging all the time, I'm an introvert. I don't like confrontation. I don't like having to tell people what to do. But when it comes to this particular group, I've, had to say the same thing over and over again, where it's like, okay, this is a group where we all support each other. If someone has new content, then we watch, like, comment, we engage. And the whole rule is that we have to be caught up with everyone in the group on their videos before posting a new one in the chat. Like, you can do it on your channel, whatever, but the idea is the group, like, you're not supposed to post your own until you're caught up with everyone else's.
Yeah.
And I recently had this issue where, majority of the group agreed in my thought process, but I recently had this issue where there was one person in particular who felt that they shouldn't be liking or commenting unless they personally related to it. And I had to confront this person, and I'm not a confrontation person. And because it was on, like, a media platform, I feel like they thought, like, I was coming off as a Karen. And so they rebutted and, like, kind of, like, got really, really defensive. And it kind of came off as, like, sort of like not, I talk too fast, so I'm out of breath. But they kind of came off as, seemed like, that they were the victim, like, that I was attacking them. And I was not trying to at all. But it was just kind of like, because it's a media platform, because you don't see me in person, I feel like people act differently when you talk to someone in their DMs, especially if you don't, like, really, really know the person. Yeah. If you're just, like, someone that's supposed to be supporting or whatever. And I kept my cool, but I personally would say that this person did not keep their cool in the beginning until they realized that I was actually handling it, like, pretty normal. But I had to make the decision of either keeping this person in the group or not keeping this person in the group. And I didn't take it for myself, like I didn't make the decision based on my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
but I literally asked everyone in the group how they felt, and based on the majority was how I was going to react. But I've been put in this position of, trying to do my best to be a leader of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
so that way everyone feels supported on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
on a platform that is, supposed to be very, like, I don't know. To me, Twitter's supposed to be like the easiest platform. You know what I mean?
I don't know. When I first thought of Twitter, I thought, why does people want to know what coffee I'm drinking or what I'm doing at 3 p.m. on a Saturday night?
That's my point. Like, it was supposed to be like these random thoughts, And I feel like nowadays Twitter has become more serious, and I'm just like, I am not prepared for this.
Honestly, all I really do for Twitter is maybe some thought I had that I want someone's opinion of, or like something cool I did, or just notifying people that my video's up. That's all I really use it for.
For me, I personally use it as random thought processes or something random that happens in the day, and of course promoting my stuff, that YouTube channel, whatever. Yeah. It's only recently that I've had to become like more active on it to like check things, and I just find it interesting but what's interesting about Twitter is I feel like you can know a different side of the person based on what they post. Because Twitter is so different compared to everything else. Like, it's like you get to see their little sideline character, I guess you can say.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
the ugly side, too, depending on what it is.
That is also true.
So, yeah.
What was I going to say? I feel like I'm out of breath now. I feel like I just ran a mile and I'm just sitting here talking.
The sun is hitting you pretty hard.
Well, we have been talking for almost an hour and a half, so I think that's probably what's doing it. It's like, I feel like I'm asthma.
Is that rant action, man?
I think that's what it is. But, okay, we talked about the good and the bad. We talked about the bad with Twitter. Is there anything good about Twitter now that I think about it? Is there anything good about Twitter other than it being another platform to promote other stuff?
Yeah, I get to meet a lot of cool people like you.
True. That is a good point to make.
And then it reaches out to an audience that you didn't expect people to know. Like, of course, it's going to be like Instagram, where someone sees your picture, they're going to like your picture, you're going to think you're pretty. You go YouTube, hey, this person's funny. I like watching what she's doing. He, she, I'll subscribe, I'll view. And then you get to Twitter, which you don't have any visual. You don't get any picture of whatsoever. I mean, you could, technically.
But it's so small. Like, can anyone actually see it?
It's like a small line of text that really defines if someone's either reading it or understanding or relating to. So it's like you really get, like you said, you really get to know a person based on a text, which could go either way. Yeah. And I think it's kind of cool how you can reach out to someone based on similar opinions or, a debate. There's a lot of debates on Twitter I've seen that people go back and forth in the comment section based on some topic. Or a news feed that people like to talk about. It doesn't always have to be like, what I did Thursday night, what movie I watched on Netflix kind of thing. So I think it's pretty cool how it's almost like, I would say Twitter would be the younger generation's Facebook.
You know what? I think I agree with that sentiment. I think I totally agree with that.
Because Facebook is all the older generation.
We're old now, apparently.
And Twitter kind of went out and there was like, a new generation where you don't have to read a whole paragraph of what someone did or ranted. You could be like, instead of, I went to school and, my classroom, blah, blah, blah. You could just say, in my classroom, I did this. Unbelievable. And that's a whole story right there. Instead of having to read the whole thing that someone posted or ranted on Facebook. And I think that's what the generation's mindset, again, going back to short attention spans, it has to like click. And once it clicks, then you start actually, following and understanding. And I see you squinting your eyes. I thought you were like confused. I thought you were just confused at what I was saying. I was like,
Yeah, I
So
just read that comment. Very interesting stuff. But no, yes, I agree with you that Twitter is definitely the new Facebook for when it comes to like the younger generation. And which is I'm still getting used to being the older generation now. Like I'm not even my mid 20s yet. Like I'm almost mid 20s and I'm old now. Excuse me? Like
dude, I was born when Pokemon came out. I'm
I just
26 right now. Like, oh
I
man,
just and we're old now.
I
I
know.
don't understand.
No,
I
it
just
absolutely hurts me. I know this is really off topic about media,
it's
but
off topic, but
I'll
I
put out
mean,
my like Game Boy Color or like my portable CD player, and people are like, what is that?" I'm like,
uh-huh. I'm
like the
recently
box
watching.
TVs.
I've been recently watching TikToks where it's like people of our generation saying that I feel old now because they met a Gen Z like kid, and like for example, one in particular that's like stuck in my mind is this girl has never seen skirts before. You know what skirts are, right?
Really?
And I was just like, even I know that.
I
I
know.
never
Like,
had one, but I knew about them. Like, and again, how am I old now? Like, what?
I don't understand. Like whenever they show like old TV shows, like cartoons we used to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it just flashes back to where it started to end, or like it's like, for example, like this cartoon came out 20 years ago. Oh man, 20 years, that's so
Yes.
old. Like,
Yes. When they show like how old something is, or
yeah,
even okay, for me, we were going off topic, but
we
who
are
cares?
off topic, so let me keep going.
But for me, what kills me is seeing the actors that were like younger than me be adults. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Hmm.
Like for example, did you ever watch The Game Plan?
Yes.
Okay, that little girl, I'm used to seeing her. I think it was the first show that I saw her in was it Sweet Life and Zack and Cody?
Hmm.
But she was in there, and then she was also something else. But now I saw a preview of it was American Pie or something like
Hmm.
that. Some and she's like a grown woman having a grown moment. And I'm just like,
Hmm. Or
what?
like, just like you said, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. They were so small. And then like nowadays I watch the movies where like they're actually, well, one's not an actor anymore. He went off his own company, but now they're like, who is this person? They look older than me. Like,
Right? And it's just kind of
I
like,
think I was
what
left
in the
behind.
world? Like, what happened? Why? I don't know why. I've always had this thought process. Like, based on the movie I see, I expect that person to stay
Stay like
relatively
that?
the
Yeah.
same. Just like like I find it interesting. But
Mm.
yeah, we went off topic.
I know.
But
Oh.
okay. Well, do you have anything else to say about like the positive and negative social media platform? Like,
No, I think that's all that covers it for me.
right? We just talked about it so much. It's kind of like, what didn't I talk about?
Right, exactly. Now it's just gonna be us basically the rambling on or repeating what we were already saying.
Exactly. Okay, well, since we ran out of things to ramble about, I mean, we could keep going, but relative to the actual topic that was the whole point of
Mm.
this episode, I think that's it. Thank you so much for returning to the podcast. You were just here, so
Awkward.
I appreciate it. All right. Well, we're going to sign off, guys. Thank you for watching if you were here. And if you're watching afterwards, not during the stream, I hope you enjoyed.
Comment and seeing what platform y'all enjoy most. I'd like to hear it.
Yes, that's a good one.
Let's
Yes, please do
engage.
that. Let's
Let me
engage. Let's
know.
have a conversation in the comments.
All right. Thank
All
you for
right.
having me so much. I enjoyed every
Absolutely.
conversation we had.
Yes, and I still expect you to be back in hopefully a little farther down, so that way we can have some other guests in here because it seems like it's just you and me having a little talk show host.
What's wrong with that?
Which is nothing wrong with that. I'm personally happy with that. But we'll just have to see what's going to come with Penny for your thoughts and different topics.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.